everyone, it's Dan Sfera. Welcome back to dansfera.com. Today I'm interviewing Chester Caney, and I like to interview all kinds of entrepreneurs. Like I've told Chester, I've interviewed the founder of limos.com, I've interviewed COO of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, but I think it's important because a lot of our audience, as I was just telling Chester, are small business owners, like mom and pop. And Chester is a perfect example. He's got a copier service and repair business in Southern California, and he actually repairs ours here at South Coast Clinical Trials, which is my day job. So Chester, we were talking about Google AdWords and things of that nature, how he's starting to get some business from Google. We were talking about customer service, a little bit about competition, how he deals with competition. So let's just welcome Chester here, and Chester, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company.
Hi everybody, my name is Chester Caney, and I'm the owner of Orange County Copiers and Printers. I'm a new business here in Orange County, Garden Grove more specifically.
Very good.
And I'll tell you, one of the things that kind of bothers me about the way business is done nowadays is there's sort of a dog-eat-dog, it's not personal, it's just business attitude that really kind of sets me back a little bit.
And those were the exact quote that you just told me earlier today. You had an experience with a former...
Yes, another company that I've been friendly with in the past, and they pretty much told me that that it's kill or be killed is their attitude regarding their competitors. And I just kind of think that that's not the right attitude to have. I think that we should all help each other, and especially in an economy that's this bad, and be friendly, and it's because it is personal. It's not just business.
Right. Yeah, that's the important thing I tell our viewers is people buy things from people. You know, they don't buy things from businesses necessarily. Even if you deal with a large company, chances are you're dealing with an individual from that company, and you're more than likely to maintain that relationship if you have a good relationship with that individual.
Yes.
So what do you think about, let's just go back and talk about this whole kind of the way competition's perceived, because I notice it across all industries. I work in the clinical trial space, and it's highly competitive. There's some, actually a lot of our competitors would have that same type of attitude. You know, this is business. We're out to kill or be killed, like you said.
Yeah.
Expand on that a little more for our audience, and just remember, these are business owners and entrepreneurs from all sorts of different industries. I'm sure they deal with that themselves. So, what do you think we can do to kind of combat that type of attitude?
I just think you should have a friendlier attitude towards your competitors, and because they are people and everybody's just trying to survive. I'd be more than happy to help one of my competitors as long as they have a good attitude and they do a good job, and their main focus is to take care of the customer and just have a good attitude about doing that. And mostly I think it just goes back to I have old school values and morals.
Right.
And it just doesn't seem right to you're supposed to help your fellow man, not shove a knife in his back when he's in a turn.
Yeah. Well, were you an entrepreneur for a long period of time, or is this something recent for you?
No, I've owned my own businesses since 1992 on and off. This would be my third copier business in roughly 15 years.
So, because what I'm trying to get at, I've only been in business for myself since 2005. So, I mean, it's 2011 now. It's been a while, but you certainly have much more experience. Was this attitude of kill or be killed among competitions or your competitors always around? Was it worse in the 90s than it is now, or kind of give us a metric for, I guess, how it was then compared to how it is now?
You know, I think that back in the old days. We used to call it back in the olden days. You know that things were a little more relaxed, and that that attitude wasn't so prevalent across all lines, all industries, and but it's still, there's a lot of people I've been in contact. I'm a new business, so I'm a competitor, and I've talked with other copier businesses recently that are very happy to help me and provide machines and help with parts and things like that, and I'm more than happy to do that with them. And I think it goes back to, you get what you give, and cast your bread upon the waters and all that. You give a little bit and you get a lot back, and I think everybody should do that.
So okay, now as far as marketing is concerned, you were talking to me about how you utilize Google. And being that this is an entrepreneurship and a business owner or small business owner show, maybe talk to us a little bit about how you started using Google. Is it Google AdWords that you're using, or were you more of on the SEO type stuff?
Right now I'm doing the SEO.
Okay.
I built my own website. I found a website builder that I was comfortable with.
Okay.
And I've done that. And I'm not complete. I haven't completed my website yet. I'm finding that I concentrate more on my SEO, which is search engine optimization, with just Google, and I try not to get involved with anybody else, because Google, everybody else, all the search engines will follow Google.
They will, yeah.
So if you have good ranking, good page ranking, and you optimize your website correctly through your text, the text that you use in photos, and you read. I've done a lot of research with Google on the Google website with the Webmaster Tools.
Google Webmaster Tools. Okay.
Yes, they've been very helpful, and they'll tell you what Google's looking for.
Yep.
And also for the companies that have been in business for a while, the Google rules have changed recently, and I believe it was about a month and a half ago. And there used to be a more repetitive, like if you wanted to sell copiers, you would just repeat copy your sales a million times on the page. And they don't want that anymore. They want quality content. Yep, and relevance, and they want to have quality websites that are user-friendly. The user-friendly part of it is a big part of their ranking criteria now.
Yeah, they had that Panda update, I think it was. And they drastically changed the way SEO is being done. So you figured all this out on your own, no help from consultants, or?
Actually, I've had a little help.
Okay.
I called an SEO company who got me started. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but he was great. He said that most SEO companies won't even talk to you for under $2,000. And he was a little less expensive. He was $1,200 roughly.
Okay.
But he gave me a few helpful hints on what I should do with my website and keywords and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I got a better ranking, and I'm doing really good. I'm on the first page in about 10 or 12 different searches in my industry, and that was just in a very short time.
A couple months?
I've been working on my website I started it 3 months ago, but I only started the SEO part of it about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
So I've gone from probably the 14th, 15th, 20th page on a Google search, all the way up to the first page and second page and third page.
And now explain to our audience out there, because a lot of them maybe have not done SEO optimization strategies yet for their businesses. How has your business been directly impacted by I guess since you've been paying more attention to SEO? Give us a typical day, maybe as far as calls, people who would call you before you started doing this SEO stuff, and then afterwards.
Well, I wasn't getting any phone calls at all until I started getting ranked on the first, second, and third page.
Okay, so even third page works.
It's hard to track all this. And the thing is when a user is doing a search in your industry and they come across you, they've probably been searching around for a while.
Right.
And by the time they call you and you talk with them, I always ask, how did you find me?
Yes.
But almost everybody says Google. but there's different ways to find you on Google through different websites. And since I advertise on I'm probably on about 15 different search engines and websites now, it's very hard for them to remember which one it is.
Yeah,
so.
that's exactly how we met. I was Googling copy repair Anaheim. And I found Chester's number and called him, and yeah, he did ask me at the end of our conversation, how did you reach me? And I found that most people don't do that, first of all, so I knew that you had some kind of sense as far as keeping metrics or some sort of track of what's working for you and what's not as far as marketing.
You have to. If you don't keep track of what works for you and what doesn't, you'll spend a whole lot of money, and you might as well just throw it out in the street if you're not tracking what works.
So now you're on page 1, or it fluctuates?
For sales, for copier sales and printer sales, I'm on page 1.
Page 1.
And almost all the cities in Orange County right now. Yes, and
Okay.
a lot of the cities I'm ranked on in the first, second, and third placement on page 1, which I'm really shocked that I did so well so quickly.
So do you have a blog, or how do you maintain the content to keep that position? Do you how is it your SEO guy doing the work behind the scenes? Or?
I didn't do any. I don't have an SEO company.
Okay.
I got a few helpful hints
Okay.
from an SEO company. I believe he told me to pick the keywords and phrases, mostly phrases, keep it simple, make sure your punctuation and spacing and spelling, because you'll actually get penalized for spelling, punctuation, and spacing. You want to write it out just like you would say it in the English language, and it has to be quality content. You don't want to just say copy or copy or copy or 100 times. It has to fit into a sentence or a phrase somehow and be relevant to your website.
So you have basically a website which is still a work in progress, as you said. But would you consider having a blog at some point?
Well, that's another thing. I've actually been considering posting ads, or not ads,
Blog post.
Blog post, yeah. And I started writing an article that I wanted to put on Dig.
There you go.
And it's more along the lines of our industry and how the direction it's going and what's been happening the last 10 years about. And it seems a little sad to me. I grew up old school. I was taught that you work hard, you do a good job, you be fair to your customers, and you treat people right, and they'll stay with you for 20 years or 30 years or however long you're in business, and that's the way business should be done. And no matter what kind of business it is. But it seems like nowadays, in the last 10 years or so, business they want to get your money quick and move on to the next customer, the next paying customer, and all that matters is money. Now, I'm speaking in general terms. I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush, because there's a lot of really good companies out there with people that really care. Because what it really comes down to is a four-letter word, and that's care. Do you care about what you do, and do you like what you do, and do you want to keep your customers, and do you care about the people that you work with and do business with, and the people in your community, and it just goes.
Excellent point, Chester, and I'm glad you're open to the idea of blogging. And we were talking about this earlier, but I'm just going to tell our viewers, if you've got a small business and you want to rank high on Google, which I believe you should, I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, it's a must, right?
Yes, it is.
To be on page 1 of Google for your term.
If you're not on page 1, you might as well not be anywhere.
Right. So, for the clinical trials, and I encourage everyone to have a blog if you've got a small business and you want to rank, and if you're serious about your business. So for a clinical trial, just to give you an example, we have a lot of competitors here at South Coast Clinical Trials. There's tons. And so when we post on Craigslist, everyone else posts on Craigslist too. So it's very easy to get lost in the mass of same ads, right? So we've had numerous people tell us, I called your clinic because you guys had a blog and you had all these cool videos, and the other sites didn't really do that. And I'm not just saying that to brag, I'm saying it because it works. And not
Yes.
enough people are utilizing this strategy. So, yeah, I like that you are open to the idea of blogging. It's a great way to maintain your #1 position.
Yes, blogging helps a lot. I'm just starting to learn about that now in the
very
past
good.
week or two.
Very
And
good.
from what I've been reading is if you write a blog, a quality blog with quality content, and quality is more important than anything. I can't stress that enough. Google wants quality now.
Yes.
If you write an article that is relevant and it's high quality, other blogs will pick it up, and other search engines will pick it up. And some of these blogs, you might write one article and submit it to one blog or two blogs, but it may get picked up by 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 other blogs just from being on the blog that you submitted it to. So, and all the what I've been reading is, and it rings true for me, is that backlinks,
Yes.
links from other websites and search engines, and especially blogs and forums.
Other blogs that link to you.
Yep, then they link to you. That's like they describe it as a vote. They say, well, we like this, what you have to say. We like your blog. We like your website. So we vote for you. So we'll give you a link.
And another thing that's beginning to become a trend and is gaining a lot of momentum is video content. So you can make a video post, which we will do, by the way. I'm going to follow Chester into our copier room.
Okay.
And Chester's going to do his thing and talk about a copier. But and feel free to use that for your blog if you want.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Video is, people are starting to consume content in the forms of video. And they find that it's, at times, more beneficial to have a video post than a written post.
I think that's true. I've been reading that YouTube is now the second largest form of media that you can use, just behind Google. So
right behind Google.
I don't. This is great for me because I don't have I don't have a video to put on YouTube.
Well,
so now
you
I think I do.
This one will. If you'll just probably have to do a little bit of editing, but you'll have it. You know, unless you want to put the whole interview up there, which is fine with me.
I might put the whole thing up there. Yeah.
That'd be good. Well,
you got to take the bad with the good. It won't be perfect, but
that's right. Well, it's a start, and then you'll learn how to do it yourself. This flip camera that we're using, I was telling Chester in our other studio, we have real cameras and things like that, but here, just a flip cam, $100 for this thing.
Yeah, it's a nice little camera.
Plugs right into your computer.
A little tripod and everything.
Yeah, it's HD quality. Plugs right into your computer and straight to YouTube. And maybe 15 minutes. So you can do something like that every day or once a week, and probably just generate some more posts for your site.
That's something that I'm really interested in, and I really appreciate the opportunity and helping me out with this.
Yes, and thank you, Chester, for helping us business owners out here understand how anyone, literally anyone, it doesn't have to be these big tech companies that are leveraging Google. It could be mom and pop from across the street using it for their business, and as you've seen here, Chester ranks first page, or at least second page, for every city in Orange County for a copier, which is fantastic. So hats off to you. We're going to follow him to the copier room, and he'll talk about what he does.
And just one thing I'd like to say before we move into the copier room is when Dan's talking about mom and pops and versus large companies, I think the personal touch is something that has been lost, and you're only going to get that with a smaller company, someone where you can call and speak with the owner, and or somebody who's close to the owner, and somebody that has a personal investment in what they're doing and in you. So you know, these big companies, there's just a whole bunch of people running around, and there's no personal touch to that. So that's something you might want to keep in mind.
You'll never get the same person. For those of you in the Orange County or Southern California area and want to get a hold of Chester, his phone number is 714-408-3212. And we will post, when this blog post goes live on my blog, I'm going to have links to your website. So that will actually help your site more for Google.
Yeah.
It's an extra link, plus people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, and take a look at my website. It's the most beautiful copier website you've ever seen in your life. I did it myself. It's got pictures of the ocean and the beach and the mountains, and we're also a green company. We're an eco-friendly company. I believe very strongly in doing what you can to save our planet, and we recycle everything. So take a look at it. I think you'll like it. It's www.orangecountykopiersandprinters.com.
Take a look at it. We'll have links to it, and it's going to get better with his blog post as well. Thank you, Chester, and we'll follow you over there to the copier room. Hey everyone, Dan Sver again. Thank you for sticking around for that interview with Chester. Now this is a special bonus part of the interview with Chester. If you're not interested in copy machines at all, you don't have to watch it, but a lot of you may be because you're entrepreneurs. You probably got a copier in your office. Chester's going to give you some quick tips and maybe just talk a little bit about what he does to service a machine. And for those of you interested in this kind of advice, this will definitely be interesting to you. So, Chester, take it away, man.
Hi, everybody. I just want to show you a little bit about your copier and give you some basics on how your copier should be serviced, the proper way to service a copier. We have an old school term. It's called the total call. And the total call is exactly what it sounds like. You do a complete cleaning on the machine, and you start with the document feeder. You open up the top of the document feeder. There's feed tires that feed the paper in. You clean those feed tires. There's sensors here that you clean. You blow them out with air, and then you make sure you clean all the feed tires, by the way. Some people don't do that, some technicians. And then you open up the document feeder and you clean the scan glass and the copy glass. You remove the copy glass and then you clean the scanner underneath. Now that's a very good start right there. It'll eliminate a future service call from your document feeder. It'll eliminate future service calls for your scanner for light copies. You get light copies and you'll get black lines. And then you come down into the machine, and over on this side of the machine is where your fusion unit is and your drum unit. And I'll just open this up right here, and you can see your drum unit down in here, and that has to be all kept clean, and the transfer assembly in here, and also in here the diffuser rollers and the separation claws, these small separation claws. They get a buildup of toner on them, and your machine will jam, and it'll come out like an accordion jams. So we do this every service call. It's called a total call. That's the proper way to service your machine. Also, we take the feed drawers out, and there's feed tires in there, feed rollers that feed the paper into the machine. And all these feed rollers and sensors will get dirty just through normal use. And we clean all that and make sure the machine's in good shape, and we do all this within an hour. So when you're billed for an hour, you get much more work than you pay for. When it comes to other companies, the big companies especially, they don't do the total call anymore. Nobody's done it in 10 years. And I've always been a big believer in do the job right, do a good job, take care of your customers, be fair, and we'll do business together and work with each other for the next 20 years or 30 years. And I think that's very important. And plus I got to sleep at night too, so I got a conscience, so I have to do the job right. And so that's pretty much the basics of it. And just keep the machine clean. If the machines are kept clean, they'll run a lot longer, they'll last a lot longer. And the big companies have sort of forced everybody to be in the sales cycle of every 3 years, every 36 months you lease new machines, and there's no need for that. We're not a sales-driven company, we're a service-based company. So I don't care whether it's a sales job or a service job. We'll take care of everything, we'll take care of all your needs. And your machines will last a lot longer. You won't have to replace your machines every 3 years. You'll get 4 years or 5 years or 7 years out of your machines depending on the volume that you run. But anyways, that's the proper way to service a machine. This is what should be done every service call, and that's the way we do business. We take care of you right.
And one more time, your website and your phone number.
Our website is www.orangecountykopiersandprinters.com. Of course, that's Orange County Copiers and Printers in Garden Grove. And our phone number is 714-408-3212. And you can ask for me. My name is Chester.
Thank you, Chester.
And you're very welcome, Dan. Thank you for the interview.